Hi, I'm Susan Parker, and today I want to share some slides with you on the subject of what makes a good carrier oil. All right, so let's get going here. What makes a good carrier oil? And if we think about words, the clue is in the name. So we're not talking about essential oils. Essential oils, which are aromatic, they evaporate. They are very highly concentrated, and the volatility is what makes them it really necessary for them to be carried. There's our carrier oils in what's known as a fatty oil. So the carrier oils, they're the fat. They'll stain paper. They'll stain your favorite shirt or blouse. Generally, they're very neutral compounds in terms of scent and color. And these are the types of fatty compounds that relate to our body's natural fats, the fats we use in the kitchen, olive, avocado, coconut, all of those. And so we're going to look at 5 different groupings of carrier oils that make good carrier oils. Good for, and you can use them as a base for all kinds of things, not just essential oils, not just aromatherapy, but a base for body oils, for massage oils, for facial oils, all kinds of things where we want oil on our skin because it's very protective and very helpful for maintaining our skin's natural functions. So the neutral carriers, what makes a good carrier is generally a neutral color and scent, like almond oil or apricot kernel oil. Both of these are wonderful, neutral. Sometimes, however, they can have a strong kind of like a bitter almond scent. It depends on how much they've been refined. So for a carrier oil, you want a more refined version. Refined avocado is quite neutral. Unrefined is very, very green. Macadamia nut oil and moringa. All of these make very nice base carrier oils. And then some people object to oils feeling too oily on their skin. They're not used to it, or it gets in the way of, especially if you're using oils on your hands and you need to continue working and not get oil spots everywhere. So there's a solution to that. And the choice is dry oils. Dry oils are dry feeling on the skin rather than oily feeling on the skin. And there's a number of oils that are quite wonderful in this way. Camellia, from the flowers that bloom in the late winter. Camellia seed oil, or hazelnut seed oil, or hazelnut oil, probably a better way to phrase it. Jojoba oil, also a dry oil. Evening primrose, which is a very kind of nourishing oil for the skin, is dry. Kiwi seed oil, not so easy to find this one, but if you can find it, keep it cold and dark. It has a short shelf life, but it's a wonderful oil and in the dry grouping. So very light feeling carrier oils. Sometimes in the summer, heavier oils that we might use in the winter are just too heavy, and we want something that's light and it absorbs well into the skin. Cucumber seed oil is probably one of my favorites. Sometimes, now this gives it scent, but sometimes it can come with a real wonderful fresh cucumber smell if it hasn't been super refined. For a true carrier where we want a neutral scent, it needs to be refined. But if you find the aromatic cucumber seed oil, that's a plus. Passionflower seed oil is very calming, can be calming to the skin, might be good to use for massage if someone needs relaxation, needs to kind of chill. Guava seed oil, very tropical, sometimes can be fruity scented, but just a wonderful oil, and often it is refined, so you'll be all right. Kalahari melon seed oil, And watermelon seed oil would be a similar oil, very light, wonderful for the skin. And then there are this particularly skin nourishing carriers. All oils are going to nourish the skin in the sense that they're going to keep moisture in the cells. You put oil on your skin and it helps the skin to retain moisture that it needs so much in order to maintain the skin barrier function. So some fatty oils are particularly nourishing, and the lipid compounds can supplement the health of the skin's waterproof nature. So oat seed is a wonderful oil. It's highly nourishing, has lots of different polyphenols and wonderful compounds, vitamin E, in order to that nourish the skin. It's also oats generally, if you're an herbalist or have studied any herbalism, oats are very calming. It's a calming, it's an herb that is quite good for the nervous system. So the oil can also help calm. So a combination of oat and the passionflower could be an interesting combination. Wheat germ oil. Just wheat germ is highly nourishing, high in vitamin E. And when we put oils on our skin, the lipid compounds in the oils, and that includes oil-soluble vitamins like vitamin E, the skin can take up the vitamins and can take up the various fatty acids in the oil and help supplement if there's any deficiency. Olive oil has been used on the skin way back into ancient times. The Greeks and Romans, Etruscans, and even before that. Olive oil is just wonderful, has very high in polyphenols, and so it's really great for the skin, and it's good to use in the kitchen too. Amaranth seed in particular, and now this amaranth is a kind of grain. I think they call it a pseudo grain, but it still falls within the grouping of grains. Very high in squalene. Squalene is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory compound that's found in all living tissues, all living organisms. And our skin makes squalene. And so as we get older, maybe we're starting to dry up a little. Amaranth seed oil can be wonderful for supplementing what maybe isn't being produced as abundantly as when we were younger. So carriers from Africa, these are fun. They're wonderful oils, whether it's a high price or just wonderful oils. Sometimes they can be a bit hard to find, but prickly pear it's probably the oil with the highest price that you might ever buy, but a very small sample is worth giving a try. Barbary fig is another name for it. Argan is from Morocco. It's used there traditionally for cooking, for skincare, for any type of need for a fatty oil. Baobab comes from the tree is also called the upside down tree because it can have huge trunks down deep into the ground and a whole kind of bunch of little branches up at the top. So it actually sometimes looks like it is upside down. Wonderful oil. In fact, that was one I used this morning. Marula oil. Marula oil is from South Africa, and it's really quite a beautiful oil. It's one of the only ones that has this kind of rose gold color. It's quite different. Any marula oil is going to have a hint that some of the colors are a bit stronger. Wonderful silky feeling oil. So now I want to talk really just for a few seconds about refined and unrefined. I've mentioned that as we've gone through the slides because what is refined out of oils generally is the scent, any kind of odor that comes from the seed through the pressing process and into the final oil is not always wanted. Color is often refined out. Sometimes the sterols and even the vitamin E is refined out in the process of refining oils to get them to the marketplace. Not everyone wants an oil that's robust in color and scent and healing fraction and the healing fraction. But I just want to alert you to that, because what you order online, it's often hard to tell ahead of time what's going to be coming. So order small bits, small amounts, and then order up when you like what you get. So oils can carry the scents and the color and all these different types of compounds, all of which can be removed except for the fatty acids. The fatty acids, of course, are the 98% of the oils. The fatty oils are fatty acids in the scent and the color and taste in some cases, and oil-soluble vitamins. All of this is just a small few percentage points, but all of these compounds are quite exceptional for the skin. So oils can be lightly filtered or completely refined. There's a lot of variation out there, and I just want to alert you to that. So back to the word to carry. It is a verb, and carrier oil, of course, refers to these fatty oils that are used to carry the concentrated, volatile, very aromatic essential oils. But they can also carry a formula, be a base oil to which other ingredients are added. And it's become a generalized term for these type of fatty oils anyway. So these are carrier oils. Enjoy them. They're wonderful, and just put them all over your skin, and your skin will love it.